Yes, and welcome. Today we have the pleasure to introduce international guests from Biovica, Anders Urlander, CEO, even if come from headquarters in Uppsala, Warren Cresswell, President Biovica Americas, and Henrik Winter, Senior Vice President Business Development, especially focusing on pharma services. So let's start with Anders. A lot's happening with Biovica. Could you please summarize the Q2 report? It was just recently published.
Yes, Johan. Yes, that's true. We just closed our Q2, or we just reported our Q2 as we have a broken fiscal year. And we made great progress on all our three commercial areas. In US, we were able to get a price from Medicare, which is the biggest milestone, I would say. But also we signed several commercial agreements. We got signed with 3 client bill agreements, which we call, and they cover roughly 50 hospitals in 3 states in US. So that is significant. Also in Europe, we expanded the agreements with the one contract with Danish company called Axlab, covering all the Nordic countries, which is also very positive for us and a great milestone. And if you look at the pharma services business, Henrik, who will talk later, has managed now to grow the portfolios. We have 19 ongoing master services projects, a bit larger ones, and then 2 technical evaluation that has the potential to become bigger projects going forward. So yeah, we're making progress in all our 3 areas, and I'm very grateful for that.
Excellent. Thank you, Anders. And Warren, US is also progressing well, and especially the direct bill we think is interesting. Could you elaborate?
Yes, absolutely. We've had a very good start to the year. We've certainly been engaging all of the key opinion leaders, thought leaders, really targeted cancer institutions. And we have been successful this last quarter at signing 3 direct bill contracts, which are essentially contracts with hospitals. And with these agreements, what they do is we negotiate a price. And so that when samples make it to Biovica in our San Diego laboratory and we test, receive, and report those results out, we invoice the partner directly. And that's the payment channel that we're working in.
And of course, you had a great success with securing a public reimbursement price. So my interest in direct bill, or our interest in direct bill, is mainly related to the fact that it seems to be that we can expect recurring sales, more volumes from the direct bill channel. Is that fair?
Yes, that's correct. By us being able to establish those contracts within those hospital institutions, and that really kind of paves the way for medical oncologists to be able to order the product and be able to have all the logistics set up so that it's very easy and seamless for those physicians to order. But also being able to achieve a PLA code for our product and Medicare pricing, that really helps us out as well, and that it establishes really that groundwork for payment through Medicare also. So for those patients where we don't have a contract with an institution, we'll be able to bill Medicare pretty seamlessly.
And you have a pretty ambitious target with adding several contracts already by end of April, up to 10, going from 3 to 10 direct bill contracts. That's very ambitious.
Yes, however, we have a pretty full pipeline of institutions we have been working with. These are the first 3. And some of these contracts can take a little bit of time to execute, but we certainly do have a very rich pipeline of them, and we do anticipate more contracts to come very soon.
And the sales doesn't happen by itself, I suppose. You need to support these contracts once you have them.
That's correct. The contract is one piece of the overall equation. We still have a customer-facing team that spends a lot of time in these institutions to be able to educate medical oncologists in regards to who Biovica is, what DiviTum is, the role of TKA. So absolutely, the work doesn't stop. We spend a lot of time working with physicians to be able to get that utilization going within these institutions.
And finally, a bit more technical question or aspects. DiviTum measures TKA, and the label, you could read it as it's a sort of cutoff value, but we also seen in studies that there is a value in tracking the change from baseline. Can you market or promote both aspects, and what's the experience so far?
We can. We market the product on label, which is based on a cutoff. However, we can also talk to physicians about how the product is being used. So there are studies out there that show different patterns and what those patterns relate to. We have one patient, one particular physician that has now ordered the 7th sample for a patient. So they've been ordering over time. And we've seen with this particular patient where they had a side effect where the patient had to come off the drug and then go back on. And during that time period, we saw this big inflection in TKA value. And that gave a lot of information to that physician in regards to when they took the patient off the drug, cell proliferation almost happened immediately. You wouldn't see this in imaging. And then when they put the patient back on the drug, they actually put the patient back on the drug at a lower dose. But you saw the patient respond very well. So there's many utilities for the product that clinicians can see, but we do market directly on label for sure.
That's interesting, especially as the FDA seems to promote the shift towards treat to effect and not, maximum dose.
Yes, absolutely. And FDA has a project called Project Optimus where they're looking at the lowest effective dose versus the maximum tolerable dose. And I think, just with this single example with this patient, it shows that there's some significant value with DiviTum and how it can be used moving forward. And, and I think the big takeaway here is that it can really benefit the physician and the patient, throughout this process of dealing with their metastatic breast cancer and many different utilities, but definitely with this dose adjusting, it really gives the confidence and certainty to the physician that they're seeing the patient respond to the therapy.
Excellent. Thank you, Warren. And we're looking forward to more feedback from the US moving ahead. And Henrik, you have been busy as well. You are adding more pharma projects, and it's 19. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. We are now running 19 projects totally under master service agreements, yes.
Yes. And what about sales prospects and recurring sales? We see some positive signs already in Q2.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we keep seeing, more projects into our portfolio. We see, bigger projects. We see projects with, different content in a way that it's, different drugs, different indications by that. We keep, getting more master service agreements, and by that, more master service agreement projects, which are these, more broad and bigger projects and should lead to real collaborations. And it all comes with, steady growth of the revenue, which is great. And I guess we expect, really to see some of these collaborations turn into true collaborative projects with pharma, 1 or 2 during the next 6-12 months.
Excellent. So these the next step, sort of CDX step within 3 to 6 months sounds promising. And can you give a flavor for the transparency and the level of interaction between Biovica and these pharma partners?
Yeah, what I can say is that, I mean, it's very different from project to project and also from pharma partner to pharma partner. But I think overall, I mean, it's very clear that they recognize the expertise, the great expertise we have within TKA as probably the only company, both when it comes to the clinical utility of the assay, but also how to interpret, the results you achieve with TKA. So that has led, to good discussions, also how to, better customize, the assay towards specific drugs. And, to have those kind of discussions, you obviously have to or need to have an open dialogue. So it's very positive and progressing in the right direction. I think right now we have kind of, we have 3 positive trends, I would say. We have, ongoing discussions, as I said, with several pharma partners. We have an increased interest from the tier 1 pharma companies. And then finally, we actually see our assay being involved in some phase 2 studies now, and it's all pointing towards collaborative, development projects.
So a fair amount of interaction then, and yeah, we're looking forward. And also, just a clarification, in your core FDA approval, it's of course about breast cancer, but in your projects and your partners, some of them are moving beyond breast cancer.
Correct. Absolutely. I mean, it's you could say it's more, solid tumors right now that, the focus. So it's absolutely also outside breast cancer.
Thank you, Henrik. And
Indeed.
Anders, finally, you are also in the middle of doing a rights issue. What's the purpose?
Yeah. So we just started the subscription period. It will run until 13th of December. And the purpose is to take us to cash flow positive, which we expect to happen by mid-2025 calendar year this time. And the goal is to get to 50 million Swedish kronor per quarter in revenues. So that's the plan, and that's the purpose of the capital injection.
And also we understand that the US sales team, which is obviously very important, we can expect them to participate in an equity-based incentive programs. Can you please provide us some more color on that?
Yeah. So yeah, we're not only working with increasing revenues, but also to manage our costs. And in that process, an initiative come from the US team, Warren's team, to look into how to convert cash bonus to an increased equity stake. So we're doing that. I appreciate that initiative very much. And it's also a proof of how much the team believes in the company and the product. And we're implementing that as over the entire companies, not only US. So that short term is a significant cost saving when we need it. So very, very good. I can also say that myself, I'm participating with 10 million Swedish, and also the chairman with 1 million Swedish, and most of the board and the management team also with smaller amounts. So there's a great commitment to the company in this rights issue.
Excellent, and thank you all three, Warren, Henrik, and Anders. Thanks for participating.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks. Thank you.